Minnesota. The last recent study was on the 22nd of October in 2015. The accounts of this graph indicates the number of people who are experiencing homelessness, who are staying in emergency shelters, and are a part of a program, whereas the estimates are the amount of people who are experiencing non-sheltered places, living with a relative or at a detoxification centers. On the night of the survey between the years of 2012 to 2015, had a percent of 9 of homeless people, which rose to 32% in the years of 2006 to 2012. The key findings were that young people are the ones who are at the most risk of being homeless. Africans and Native Americans are also at a high risk of being homeless. Old adults at the ages 55 and over have been increasing of being homeless, while 8% of them served in the military. The top reasons why Minnesotans are homeless is because they cannot afford housing, lack of being employed, chronic health conditions, abuse, violence, and including discrimination in housing. What is your name?
My name is Damien.
How old were you then?
I was 48.
Why were you homeless?
I drank my life away.
Where did you get or find food?
The best that I could do was the garbage dumpsters were the quick, easy fixes, but that got too hard. So I was tried to go into a lot of the restaurants and try to act like one of the pedestrians, and any scrapped or leftover food that they had, I would dump their trays and take whatever scraps that they had off and put those in my pockets. That's how I got my nourishment.
What other struggles did you face on a daily basis?
Not too many places that I could pretty much hang out at without anybody asking me to leave. So the best places I could probably hang out, since I wasn't working or had no place to go, was the parks, libraries, places that had a lot of people in common. So the biggest struggles was trying to find some place just to sit and rest.
How did you currently feel about this issue?
How do I currently feel about homelessness? Well, I have a whole new perspective on. I have a compassion, I have a heart, I have a love for everyone now, and the most important would be those that were just like me, that are out there battling the elements, battling being non-existent, battling being of insignificance, being invisible. Those were probably the biggest challenges that was being faced, and that's where my new passion and how I feel about the subject of homelessness, I have an entirely different perspective. I have a huge heart for those that are just like me, or were like me, or are like me, that are in that situation. So, yeah.
Where did you normally go to throughout the day?
Yeah, that goes back to the parks, hanging out at the train stops, other establishments. Library is probably the only place that was always equally available, as long as I was doing something on the computers. Was the most warmest and safest place that I can go. But after that was done, then it was out to the elements. When the night went down, that was the biggest challenge, is trying to find some place to stay and be safe.
What did you do during the winter season?
That was very limited. Library, the same thing. That was the only safe haven place, and when those hours were done. Coffee shops, those were the main places that I could probably hang out with, but I couldn't take any of my belongings with me. If they saw that I was possibly a homeless person, that would be the first sign that they would either be ready to call the cops to have me escorted out. So I learned how to go to a lot of the establishments without my luggage, and to just be one of the pedestrians in there, reading the newspaper, drinking coffee and water is the only thing that I could do, because I didn't have any money. but that was the biggest challenge, is the winter time. So when it got to the point where I didn't have any other place to go, I would sleep in the bathroom at the park. That was the best and only safest place that I could possibly get for a night's sleep. But the freezing temperature was the hardest time. Is when the temperature went to below freezing.
Where was your family then?
My family's in California, and I have a sister out here, and I have a brother in Fridley. But my family, due to my drinking, they no longer wanted to have anything to do with me because they could no longer help me at that point. So they gave up at that point.
How did you find help to get your life back together again?
That is probably going to be a surprise answer. I'm going to have to say that would have been an intervention from God. And that would have been by me asking, really pleading, by realizing what the gravity of my situation was. I cried out and I asked for God, I asked for help, and that's where the answer came. I called an old sponsor of mine, and he ended up coming to get me, asked me about Union Gospel Mission, if I knew about Christ Recovery Center, and he came the next day and he picked me up 9 o'clock in the morning as he promised, and he got me down to the help that I needed. It was by simply making a phone call and asking for the help is how I got the help, and I was blessed to get down to the Union Gospel Mission.
Do you believe 5 years ago, did you think you would be homeless?
Absolutely not. No. I mean, I've been working at top banks for the last, 20-something years, and banking in the finance industry. There was my niche. I was doing very, very well. And I was in California at that time 5 years ago and doing well, supposedly at that time there. But if you would have asked me 5 years ago if I would have been homeless, absolutely not.
Since you are no longer homeless, have things turned out to be better ever since?
Absolutely. Blessed. I have a brotherhood. I'm a part of a brotherhood. Family, the support, people that are involved in my life today due to the help that the mission has provided. It's beyond measure. I now have all of the tools to equip me today to go out and to be the man that God wants me to be the friend, the sponsor. The character is, if anything, is the biggest thing that was built through the foundation here. Is learning and equipping me with all the tools to be able to go out and to have that heart and to be able to help those beyond me. I was beyond help, and help came to me through the teachings around the mission, and now it's equipped me to be able to know what my passion and what my gift is to do, is to go out and to do for others. So yeah, my life is so much more better today. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the interview, Damon.
You're welcome.
My call to action was volunteering at the Union Gospel located in downtown St. Paul. I was serving dinner to the homeless.